This week, we were coaching an older gent. He was old enough to be my grandfather. We met at a group relations conference. You may be asking, what the hell is that? Some sort of fertility cult? Well, not exactly, but let me tell you. Have you ever been at a party and thought to yourself something like, that dude hates that other dude, but he doesn't know yet. Things could pop off at any moment. The purpose of group relations is to point these conflicts out and deal with them in real time. And yes, it gets very heated. Our coachee was the type of guy who isn't afraid to confront reality. He came across as intimidating, yet he didn't know this about himself. Getting into the coaching session, he was all cagey. It felt as if something was off limits within him, a feeling in the atmosphere that he would go to war to keep this specific thing hidden forever. It feels as if there's something that cannot be touched. It was hopeless, hitting dead end after dead end. So we whipped out some tools, transference and counter-transference. We paid attention to how he was making us feel. You see, if someone makes you feel anxious, for example, it's often the case that they make other people also feel anxious too. As again, it's not all yours, remember? Donald Winnicott called this objective counter-transference. We can use this emotional communication as data on what's happening in the unconscious. After some time chasing our own tail, the barriers started to come down. He told us that he was always carrying deep loneliness with him. All this time, my man has been grasping and gasping for a deep connection with others, to be seen and accepted for who he truly is. And here's where it got interesting. You see, he was living in contradiction. His need for connection conflicted with his own closed-offness. His fear of what might happen if he opened up caused him to be cagey and reactive. He wants to be accepted for who he is, yet his fear of what might happen makes him behave in a way that is likely to repel those around him. So we said, think about how you act around this thing that can't be touched and how that might affect how you relate with people around you. This man made his way through life without being fully conscious of how his behaviours play into the situation he says he doesn't want. And no wonder, it's terrifying to think you'll be rejected for who you are, of course. But you see, without revealing some parts of ourselves to others, there is nothing for them to connect with. To live life, to connect with other people, we must risk being rejected. We must have the courage to be disliked by others. So he sat in silence. He fell into a contemplative state of realization. We could see that something started to work within him. Many of the men we have talked to inside and outside our program have felt like the odd ones out. These feelings tend to be the same at school, at university, at work, in the boardroom, at the club. This situation follows them around like a bad smell. They find themselves feeling left out, and this makes them bitter and resentful. They have been conditioned to think people will persecute them for their differences or possible uniqueness. But that is simply not the case. You see, our patterns, our behaviour are deeply ingrained from an early age. Singled out, feeling weird, feeling marginalised, feeling out of place, not getting the girl, not getting the job, not being included, not being a part of the family, not getting invited to the party. The world is against us, right? Well, not exactly. It might not be our fault, but it is our responsibility to change. We fail to see how much control we have over the situation. We fail to consider how much of our behaviour plays into the situation, and no wonder. The thing is, we take refuge in our comfortable patterns. It's scary to change, of course. The devil you know is better than the devil you don't. The French psychoanalyst Jacques Lacan called these self-defeating patterns a symptom. For Lacan, a symptom is an unconscious force that we circle around. We feel unable to escape its gravitational pull. Our symptoms are behaviours that become so ingrained that they become unconscious, because we have lived in these patterns for so long. It's nearly impossible to see how our learned behaviours cause situations we say we don't want. The good news is that we can become more aware of it. We can even use it to free ourselves. We can call this putting our symptom to work. Instead of allowing the symptom to work on you, we can work with the symptom. You can use it in a way to expand your personality as an emancipatory tool. You can talk to the part of yourself that feels rejected, greet him, smile at him like an old friend. So, do you keep finding yourself feeling the same in social situations, at school, at work, around authority figures? Do you find yourself having the same arguments, running into these same self-defeating problems? If so, consider this. What is your symptom? How are you playing into the situations you say you don't want? How can you put your symptom to work? This is why I have created Myorum Society. Myorum Society provides tailored coaching for health, wealth, relationships, and the cultivation of happiness. We've created the most cost-effective ways to level up across your entire life with tailored coaching from individuals in different disciplines. So if you're interested, come on to a free consultation call with me and we can run you down the entire process of how you can get involved in the program. I look forward to talking to you and I'll see you on the inside.